Hey everyone! As you can probably tell by the TextPad Notepad Text++ script, we're doing some more Stellaris modding. It's been a while since I did one of these, and that's mostly because I've been doing a lot of like background writing and stuff, waiting for 2.0, and I don't like to do that on camera. But now we are actually going to be, now that 2.0 is out, I can actually start doing more technical stuff and doing videos on it. So, first thing we're doing, we're just going to make a new version of the changelog. It's going to be version 0.3.1. It's going to be update to 2.0.1 and not videos. This is a video. We're going to say tradition buildings. Very good. And this is starting on the 28th of February. Yes, I am recording this video on the day it comes out. Sue me. And if I need to like change the date range, I'll do that when I finish this version of the update. One thing that should be noted is that the mod is out on Steam. I'll have a link in the description. In a very early alpha state, it's not wonderful for actually playing through, but it's there if you want to play around with what's happening. And probably by the time this video goes out, everything I'm working on here should be up on there. Okay, so words that mean things. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so as you can tell, tradition buildings. One thing I've done relatively recently is I've added traditions. I've also had to do ascension perks and stuff, but we're not looking at that. But essentially I went through and added a bunch of new traditions. One step back. If you haven't watched any of my Stellaris modding videos before, and it's been a while, I'm making a mod that is essentially just kind of like taking like magic and fantasy into Stellaris, which is typically very like sci-fi kind of like science-based thing, but it's like changing that, so instead of like ships being like technological like ships, it's like magical artifacts that like move based on like a bunch of mages casting blink on it and things like that. So but back to this, each of the 7 categories of the traditions each link back to one like these 7 like archetypal stories, because a major theme of the mod is the idea of stories and how those are used, and eventually I might do like the text, so that's like the flavor text and story on each of these is different based on the empire, but the same like overarching like structure of the story is the same. It's kind of like the idea of like that there are only so many like actual like story structures in the universe, and like that can be made, and almost all the stories fit into one of these categories, and this is kind of a take on this, and your traditions is which ones are your empires embracing. But one thing each of them gives is that they each have a building as their capstone, like a new type of building. Some of them are empire unique, some of them are just planet unique buildings, but we need to implement them because I have not implemented them yet. Okay, so here's actually the list of all of them. I'm actually going to have this up on my other screen just because I can only record with one screen. It's hard to do recording on multiple screens that works well. Okay, what was I looking for? Oh, so we actually don't have a buildings area next. So what we're gonna do is, like I do for anything when learning how to do that, that is not what I wanted to do. Bad. Whatever. Good thing my desktop is clean. You also can see I have the Kittens game in the background because it's always running in the background on my computer. Great game, you should play it. It's just a dumb incremental game. So common, and we want to look at buildings. Okay, this is just the list of all the buildings in the game. So we're in our common folder. We're gonna get building, and we're we're gonna call this buildings. Cool. Oops. Knocking stuff about. Okay. And these are just plain TXT files. So we're gonna make a new text document, and we're just gonna call this 00 Theus buildings. So we don't want to overwrite anything, but here you go. Look, it's an empty page. Huzzah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at these. These are all, this is the actual base files building text, and we're actually going to look about how it is to make this. And I'm actually going to bring this to the other screen again. Come on, you got this. I believe in you. Okay. And we're just going to start a new area, which is called Tradition Buildings. Okay, we have this new section. So what I'm going to do, just start off if, I'm going to be like this. I'm just taking the script for the building _ galactic stock exchange. It's not, why did everything just have to minimize and mess up all my windows? Like, okay, good, my OBS is still on the right screen. Okay, so the first top thing we have is the words that mean things. The story of the Cartographer, and this is it has the building of, you can build the Grand Orrery. So one thing I'm doing right now is I'm not actually coding all of the modifiers that these building gives. I'm just putting them into the game, and I'll figure out the modifiers there because I haven't designed all of them, and you guys have seen me just put in modifiers into things. That's mostly just kind of like looking up on the wiki the big list of modifiers, which also hasn't been 100% updated for 2.0 yet, so I'm kind of waiting on that a little bit. So this is building _ Grand Orrery. Orreries are those like big like mechanical structures, like describing like celestial body movement and stuff. Empire unique, yes. Building base build time 360. That seems fine. Like honestly, I'm in the planet unique section of this, and that honestly seems okay. Show tech unlock. That's not what I want. Produce resources. For the sake of the beta, I'm going to have some of these produce just something, and that is going to be physics research. Or just give it 10 physics research. Actually, is that the actual name of the resource? I don't know if it is, which would be embarrassing. Oh, here we are. Physics _ research. Okay, I was correct. So, yeah. Potential. Okay. So, I don't care because machine intelligence don't exist, so I'm not going to have that thing, and I don't need it to be destroyed ever. It's been one of those things where if you are able to capture someone's building with these on them, it's you get the benefit of the second one. Capital building 2, that makes sense. And country modifiers, I'm not actually gonna put that on there yet. Prerequisites is going to be, if you look at our traditions, it is, it'll be TR_Cartographer finish. So it'll only be available once you can build that. AI weight, I don't, you want the weight to be high because you want the AI to build these when they unlock them. Otherwise, like, why are you spending your money on them? Empire unique, baseball time, good. Yeah, all this looks good. I'm gonna say note the input modifier. And yeah, cool. Alright, so now we're going to go to the next one, and we can actually keep a lot of this text. The next one is the Archmage. The tradition of the Archmage. This one is actually going to be a planet unique one. It is the tradition. I should talk about each of the traditions. The Cartographer is the tradition tree, kind of like it's a combination of exploration and expansion, where it's all about exploration and early colonization. The Archmage is all about your energy production as well as defensive magic. So the Archmage is actually going to be a combination of a military building and which gives you like defense armies and stuff, as well as providing you with some energy as they like maintain the Lyrae fields around your planet. Okay, so but this will require the Archmage finish, and this will be Archmage Tower. Cool. Now, for non-Empire unique buildings. I don't want specialty local buildings. Power plant 4, no. Power plant 5, no. Power hub. Okay, it's just planet_unique. Okay, that's easy enough to do. I'll switch this to planet, and I'm just going to say it produces 10 energy. Actually, it's planet unique, so probably I'm gonna say 5 energy. And as always, all these numbers subject to change. And actually, let's see if I can find a garrison. Am I just spelling garrison wrong? Synthetic dawn, guardian building, event buildings. I'll have to look up how the new buildings for that work for like defensive armies and stuff, and add that in later. Okay, so the next one is the Peasant. The tradition tree of the Peasant is all about, it's kind of like Harmony, where it's all about making your people very happy as well as getting more food. And what they allow you to produce is Grand Fairgrounds, which is also just planet unique. And this will give you, this will help you build like very food dedicated planets, because it will give adjacency bonuses for food and unity, as well as producing, I guess I can change the price of that. This is just I'm going to take off the influence cost and make it cost, let's say, yeah, 350 is still good. It's just spending unity on that every time is a bit much. 350. I actually might make this one cost food as well, because I want to incorporate food into more resources costs, and I'm kind of like reworking some food and making food more important. But this will produce food, let's say 4, as well as unity, 2 unity. And this requires the tradition of the Peasant. Okay, cool. Right, next up is the tradition of the merchant, and this will build the grand market. This will give you a building similar to the Galactic Stock Exchange. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. This one might change eventually, because I might, when I go complex, I may make it into kind of like trade posts and whatnot. One thing I'm also considering is making this one eventually into a starport module. But the merchant is otherwise all about your economy, as well as a bit of diplomacy too, to try to like increase your trade favorability and getting resources from other empires and whatnot. Because actually, for some empires, getting resources they don't actually have access to in their parts of the galaxy will be part of their story to progress, and you're going to need to, like, that is not what I meant to do. And yeah. Next up is the thing about the tradition of the scholar. Actually, I'm going to come back to scholar because this is going to be a slightly different one. The scholar is all about research and stuff, and instead of one type of one building, they actually get produce a bunch of little ones, where they have like libraries dedicated to specific things. So you'll have like the library of herbology and library of this, and you can only build one per planet. Like, they'll be mutually exclusive, and they need to figure out how I want to do that. Okay, and that will provide like a overall reduced time on researching that field. Okay, so this is, oh shoot, same with Grand Temples. So the next will be the tradition of the king. And this is allows you to be, have a grand palace. And of course all the names of these are subject to change. And it's actually produced one influence. As well as, I don't know, what's a good thing for a king to produce? I'm gonna go with unity. So it just helps you think, and that one will definitely be more of a very organizational one. The ethics of the king is all about like offensive combat diplomacy as well as subjugation, so it's kind of a combination of very aggressive diplomacy. Okay, so alright, so those ones are plugged in, and this is kind of like the general things. And actually, I'm actually going to close you, and I'm going to change the name of this building file to be Theus_tradition buildings. Just make it clear that that's what they are. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just like an example of one of the scholar buildings. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be, because I'm going to repeat this for each of the tech trees, and I'm actually haven't settled on what tech trees I want. So, but this will be the biology laboratory. Yes. I mean, costs and everything is obviously subject to change. Not biology. That's an actual thing. Herbology. It produces society research. Looking into actually what it would take to change the names of the researches and like all the localizations, which, I mean, by the end I will be changing most of them to be changing to body, mind, and soul research. So engineering would become body research, physics would become mind research, and society would become soul research. I mean, obviously I wouldn't change the modifiers, so it'd just be a localization thing, but yeah. So society research will produce, I'm gonna say 8, just, I don't know. Yeah, requiring the capital buildings, fine. Empire unique, yes. Okay. And, yep, that's all fine. Okay. So one thing I wanted to do is herbology. Yep. Oh, so, okay. So I'm also going to say allow, it requires another, that's no custom tooltip. We'll say on the planet, you, and I'm going to say it cannot have, get my brackets all sorted out. So on this, oh, text will be equal, will be unique underscore library. Or let's say it would require the only library. And it'll be planet will be not has underscore building equal, we'll just say another one, which will be, okay, necromancy. So you, and building underscore necromancy lab. Oh shit, yeah, let's just shorten that to just lab, because that would make thing, it's also not a lab, it's a library. I am not thinking today. Yep. And what I'll do for everyone is that it'll have essentially all those listed on there. So you can build each of the libraries, but you need enough planets to decide where you want to focus your research. So early on, you don't automatically just get all of them off the bat and get plus 10% research speed. Because each one will give plus 10% to that specific type of research. So that's kind of like how I'm doing those. Yeah. So the next one I'm going to show the example of, which will be the temples. This will be the temple. So these ones, there's going to be 2 versions. One, if you're fanatic, you get to make a grand temple. If you're not fanatic, you get to make 2 smaller temples to each of the gods that you're doing with. But they are going to be the grand total of not the sub-aspects, but the actual overall. So this is going to be temple underscore Urin. Base build time, that's all fine. We're going to say it provides unit, we're going to say it provides 5 unity. Okay, so I think that's all fine. But one thing we actually want to grab from the other one over here is potential. Okay, I don't care if the planet is the capital. And I want the owner to, actually, no. This could be or statement. Owner has ethic. Is it ethics or ethics? Ooh, that's I believe it's ethics. Say ethic underscore nature, or ethics underscore civilization. So it'll be like, hey, so if you are a somewhat follower of either Celtheus or Ilwa, you can build the normal Temple of Urin. And so if you're a non-fanatic follower of them, you can build this building. And it'll produce unity, and it'll do all this. And that should say scholar, before I forget, and you should say priestess. And yeah, that looks like that's pretty much how these buildings are going to be inputted. So obviously I need to actually add in the actual country modifiers. I need to like tweak costs and things like that, but that's just balance, which I'm not worrying about too much right now. And obviously I need to put in the rest of the libraries and the temples, but they're more or less could be very similar. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to do more of these Stellaris modding videos coming up. And I hope you enjoyed me just messing around and inputting the new buildings for the traditions and kind of showing off the new traditions and whatnot. So I hope I will talk to you all later. Alright.